Well, welcome back. Welcome back to Actually Aubrey, and we're here today to talk about Put a Ring on It. Let's welcome in Alex W. Leath.
Finally, let's talk about this show. I've been holding stuff in.
Well, wait a minute. I want to give you your applause, Alex.
Thank you.
Take your bow. Take your bow. Take your bow.
Yeah,
And while
yeah.
we're at it, we'll get this out the way too.
Yeah, you gotta do that early and often.
It's like voting and changing your underwear.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Wait a minute. There's something
Oh,
going on. Okay, here we gotta do this. What's going on?
the,
What's
the
going on with
chat
my layout?
already lit up, I see.
Hold on. Why is this acting up? I need a new computer.
Mm, I know that's right.
Oh, wait a minute. I hit the wrong one. Okay. Oh,
Uh-huh.
geez, OP. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what they're talking about over here. So, how was your week so far? All this talk of the Oscars.
Right, exactly. We were supposed to cover this on Monday or Tuesday, I believe, and then Will slapped Chris and threw everything left, and so we had to put this back a couple of days. But
Right. Yep.
looking forward to getting this one done because episode 2 is tomorrow, so we got to get this one done.
We got to get it out the way, yeah. And our viewer Jay Wadley says, "Come on, I got about 40-45 minutes before I got to get to the gym. So get the good stuff out. Get the good stuff out first. Basically, is what he's saying."
Right, the good stuff.
Okay. All right, Jared. Hey. Oh, welcome in. Hey, there's Confessions of a Reality Queen. She's a star in the YouTube streets. Hey there. All right, and so is on everything on everything. Did I say that right? On everything? Did I get that right? Oh, my goodness. Goody Gabor is here. Oh my goodness. What do we owe this honor to? This is awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Well,
So
these are names I haven't seen, so this is pretty awesome.
yeah, it is awesome. I want to get over here to a couple of things I want to put up. Where'd they go? Where'd they go?
They disappearing before your eyes.
My eyes ain't what they used to be, huh? Tell you that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I see. I'm in the wrong. There's so many. There's so many different. Okay. All right. So, what do you think? We got the first episode we're covering today, and like you said, because we're running a little behind. What did you think about the meetup? The couples open up. We open up with the couples meeting in the you know, therapist. I guess the therapist office, the relationship expert, Dr. Nicole LaBeach. So, what was your first impression of the couples?
Yeah, this is I like this a little bit because this is less to process. When you're doing Ready to Love, as we cover that, it's so many different people and so much to process and so much stimulation that this
Right.
is kind of just narrowed down to three couples, six people.
Right,
Um,
right,
so
just six people, and the thing of it is, they're already couples, as you said. They all of these people. So we meet Shay and Alfonso, Kenneth and his girl Shorty, and Otis and Charlena. I hope I'm saying that right, Charlena, and
yeah,
all of them.
Shalana.
Oh, Shalana. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you, Shalana. These couples, all three of them, have been together for a minimum of 3 years. So that they put some time into it, some time and effort into this thing. And I think
right.
all of them apparently seem to be living together. That's the impression. What do you think?
Apparently so. Do you
Yeah.
have your list of stuff? I mean, which buffoonery do you want to start with first? so, so we can start this thing off.
If you look at your you're not looking at your screen. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's maybe smaller to you.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah,
I see it. I see it.
that's where we're at. So okay, so by the end of the process, these couples, they'll either go their separate ways, or as the show is called, they will put a ring on it. Okay. So why don't we start with Shay's date?
Well,
Shay is the one that's with Alfonso, the big guy, the big burly guy.
well, let me just say this to begin. You got these three couples. They've been together at least 3.5 years, most of them say. So they're at that 3 year, 6 month mark, right? And they still don't know. Well, really, the men don't know if they want to put a ring on it or not. The women pretty much know. This is a thing for the men to either put a ring on it or walk away, or she'll walk away. So it's like, what are the men willing to do to prove they're worthy of this love? So that's where the challenges come in. So regarding Shay's date with the gentleman, his name was Brian,
Right,
right?
right.
Yeah, his name
Yep,
was
from
Brian.
Detroit. From Detroit.
Yep. Brian, he's average looking guy, nicely built, seemed to have some height on him. Preacher's kid, seemed
Yeah,
to be,
I thought that was interesting. The
yeah,
preacher's
seemed
part.
yeah, seemed to be well mannered and everything like that. So but I think their date went really well. I think there was some things that of course, she's still trying to, it's difficult to go on a date in this process knowing that your partner's home waiting for you. So that's an adjustment, as we'll see as the season goes on, that some people sign up for this process, but they're not really ready for this process. So what stood out to you about that date?
I think the fact that he said, like he said, that he was a preacher's kid, and that she seemed to have a lot of spirituality that she really openly accepted, and that she really liked. She really liked the fact that he was, into his spirituality too. So that was one thing. They just seem to have an easygoing camaraderie in the
Yeah.
date. Yeah.
That paint thing they did was very interesting. I had never seen that before. They put all these colors on this kind of palette, and then they put the canvas underneath it, and then they swing the palette and let all these mixtures of colors fall on the palette to create a piece of art. And in the meantime, they get very messy, which is fun. I guess that's the fun part of it, and it's very interesting. I've never seen that kind of paint done before. So these dates are very unusual. They're out of the ordinary. They're not dinner in a movie. They kind of go, you know, out
Yeah.
to do different
I
stuff. You know what I
always
mean?
thought it was better when I was dating. I always thought it was better to do activity anyway. Like a movie is okay, but that's kind of like maybe a third or fourth date. I think it's better um, to 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 do something, to actually do something, have an activity.
Yeah, yeah, I think
Right.
so too. Because when you're in a movie, you're not talking. So
No. No, you're not.
yeah,
You're not getting to know a person. That's why I said, yeah, like for maybe a third or fourth date. But you're in a movie, right? You're not talking, you're not getting to know the person, you're not getting to see their little quirks and them getting to see your little quirks too. So that's an important thing. Um,
but
so
let me ask you this. What do you
mhm.
think about Shay and Alfonso's dynamic? We're talking about the date a little bit, but what do you think about their relationship dynamic and what brought them here to this point in watching them
Oh,
interact
okay.
and what the
Okay,
issues
yeah,
are?
yeah, yeah. That's a good point. It's not up on the banner, but let's go with that. Yeah, the thing about it, I was really rooting for them, and I was like, yay, they're gonna be the couple that gets married, that gets the he gets to put a ring on it, until they got to the part about the matriarch of his family, his mother, and that she doesn't really know his mother, and that his previous relationship where they created a child, that his mother is very close to his ex, and she really doesn't want to meet any other women, allegedly. And I say allegedly because I think that's him talking. But yeah, they got a very weird dynamic, because I don't think I would be with a guy. In fact, I know I would never be with a guy for 3 years, and I'm not close to his mother. I haven't met his family. um she doesn't seem to respect that they're living together. It's a whole thing. No, I think that's a very bad thing. What do you think about it?
I think that Shay has tolerated this to her detriment, you know, and women put up with this stuff all the time. If a guy does not want you to meet his mama, then what does he really think about you? On top of that, His ex, he had the child with, has met his mama, spends time with his mother, and close with his mother, go on trips and everything with the family and him. Now he told her one time he's away on business. Turns out he's at a family retreat with his family, the ex and their child, and his mother. And Shay is home thinking he's away on business, and people are posting pictures on social media of a family event that he's at. See, she should
Yeah.
have been gone. She should have been gone then, because that he's showing her that he don't value her, and
Right.
he'll
Right.
and check this out. And
Jay
this is
Wiley, and he agrees. He agrees in the chat. And Condessa says, red flag, flag on the play." Go
but yeah,
ahead.
but here's the caveat. He'll come right back home after doing something like that, and she'll lay down with him and have sex with him. So you condoning the behavior.
And
Every
wash his
time you lay
and
down and have sex with
don't
him
forget Alex, and wash his dirty drawers.
and wash his dirty drawers, probably by hand. Oh,
Mm-mm-mm.
okay.
Lord
Every
have
time,
mercy.
she washing them skid marks by hand. Okay.
Mm-mm-mm.
So
Better her than me, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. But
every time she lay down
mm-mm.
with him, knowing she has
No,
not met his mama, she's condoning that behavior and she's perpetuating that stuff. So
so
I'm not
I
sure who to
wonder.
blame, her or him.
Both. I'm wondering what's keeping her there though too. But I keep thinking these shows are all set in Atlanta, so I keep thinking about all the things I've heard from friends that live in Atlanta, have lived in Atlanta, and I'm like, you know what? I could never live in Atlanta. It's a beautiful city, but I don't think I could. I just don't
Well,
think
we
I could.
know that the pickings are few in Atlanta.
Slim.
Slim, slim pickings as far as heterosexual men go. Okay,
Mhm.
I've known women that left the Atlanta area because they could not find heterosexual men to engage with.
And I know
Okay,
of personally of close friends of mine that love everything else about Atlanta, but won't take their mates and their husband to Atlanta, because they said if they take their mates, there's like so many, there's 25 women that'll be jumping on their man, even though they're married to him. It's like not gonna
and
happen.
yet, listen,
But let
and
but
it's
let but let's go forward with the next because we want to try to get Jared caught up on all of these so he can catch the next episode. So what about Shorty's date with Hollywood?
you know, and Hollywood. I didn't see this season, but Hollywood's relationship apparently did not work out,
Mm-mm.
and
No, it
yeah,
didn't.
and he had to do some soul searching and do these different kind of things to, as they say nowadays, do the work on himself to figure out why the relationship didn't work, right?
Right.
So, but you see Hollywood. The funny thing I saw about Hollywood is Hollywood's a nice guy, right? He's very muscular. Okay, he's very nice looking. He keeps his facial hair nice. He's well groomed, but
Mm.
he doesn't come across the least bit intimidating at all. So I think that's a
Intimidating?
plus,
What do you mean by he doesn't come across as intimidating? What do you mean by that, Alex?
because Otis, who we'll get to, is also muscular, big guy, but he comes
Mhm.
across very intimidating. Okay,
Okay,
so
yeah, we'll get to him in a second.
yeah, so it's all about how you carry it,
Oh, I
and
see what
yeah,
you're. I think I see what you're saying.
it's
Yeah.
all
He
about how you
right.
carry it.
Okay, I had to think about that in my mind because he's muscular. I think he's done. Looks like he. Well, if he hasn't done bodybuilding competitively, he certainly stays a lot in the gym. Right, looking at his
Right,
physique.
right,
Right. Yeah.
exactly.
I wanna go back to the audience. Our viewers. So Jay Wadley says, and even some heterosexual men are on the DL. Got that right. And
Oh yeah, oh
heterosexual
yeah.
in quotation marks. If that happens, at least be honest about it, he says. And hey, Kirby, how you doing? Hey, boo. Yeah. So what you're saying about, you were saying, getting back to we were on
Hollywood.
Shorty's date, but let's talk about Shorty and her guy Kenneth. So what do you think about their relationship? Because she's in a relationship with the guy named Kenneth, who, I don't know, they didn't mention their age difference, but just looking at them, Shorty is beautiful. I'm not taking anything away. I'm not hating or nothing, guys. She's a beautiful woman, but did you guys think that Shorty looks a little bit older than her guy Kenneth? Because I thought so. I mean, like, like I mean, like substantially, not a couple of years, but like maybe 8 to 10 years. Would you say,
Um,
Alex?
possibly. She looks older than him.
Yeah.
She's a tiny little thing too. She's a
That's
tiny
why they
little
call it.
thing.
That's why they call it shorty. Shorty. That's shorty.
But see, she may be a tiny little thing, but I bet her bedroom game is fire. That's why he there. You know what I
I
mean?
never
I
really
bet
thought about it. I never really thought about her like that.
them 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 little women, you could throw them up and toss them around, and you know it's
Okay.
that's
All right.
fun.
Let me see. What's the next banner here?
Oh, get out of here! What you talking about? The next banner. This
Well,
is the
but
banner. This is the
okay,
banner.
so in talking about Shorty, getting back to Shorty though, and Kenneth, we hear that the complaint that Shorty has with her man Kenneth is that his maybe her bedroom game is on fire, but apparently his earning potential game ain't on fire.
Yeah, he's a homosexual, and
He's a what?
he's a
Did you
homosexual. We spoke about this on
hobo
another
with a B?
podcast.
With a B.
Yep,
Okay.
he's a
And what could you?
homosexual.
But those that may not be familiar with that terminology, because that's relatively new, would you give a loose definition of what a hobosexual is?
Yeah, well, a homosexual is someone who engages into a relationship to keep from being
Mm-hmm.
homeless. Okay. So
Oh, you a mess. You a
they
mess.
get involved with someone and pretend to be in love because they don't want to be
Uh-huh.
homeless. You know, they
Keep
don't want to
that
be
roof over
homeless.
their head, and then
That's it.
keep a couple of vittles in their belly, huh?
Right. And I and I don't mean to talk bad about the dude, but she put that out there. She's the one that
Yeah.
said, I wish he would do better earning and more help with me on the financial end. Whatever. She put that out there.
And she
Okay.
said she's a really hard worker. That was the other part of it. She said she doesn't want to all the responsibility to fall on her. So I'm not really sure if that's the case. Then why come to the show, put a ring on it? Because
And let me
what if
and
he
let me
does put a ring on it? It sounds like you're going to be in a bad predicament, right?
right. And listen, and we alluded to her being a little woman. Them some little shoulders to be trying to carry the world on, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So she's definitely gonna need the help, or at least have this guy, hold up to his end of the bargain. But if she
Hmm.
continues to coddle that situation, okay, she's
Hmm.
creating the monster. She's Frankenstein and she's creating the monster. So don't
Right.
complain. Don't complain later that
Hmm.
he don't have the earning potential. He don't have as much education. But you accepted him like this,
Right.
okay?
That's a whole nother thing too. We're gonna come back to that, circle back around to that. But okay, so moving forward, what did you think about how did you say you pronounce her name? Charlana?
Charlana,
Charla
yep, Charlana.
Charlana. Okay, what do we think about Charlana and that really handsome soccer player that's from Namibia from Africa?
Yeah,
Yum yum.
yeah. But did
Yum
you
yum.
notice?
Eat them up.
Yeah,
Eat them up
yum
some.
yum yum, eat them up. For those of us who are old enough to
Ooh,
remember
yum,
the
yum, eat him up some.
the, the, the
He's
old
fine.
men.
All I can say her guy, Shalana, her man, Otis. He's a good-looking fella, and he's a big, well-built. Another one with a great physique. Looks like he works out quite a bit. But I like this. I like the Meta. I like Meta. What did you think about the date with Meta? They
Yeah,
went to play soccer.
Yeah, they did. And I'm just going to step back just for one quick minute with the Hollywood date when they did the and I'm gonna get to this real quick. When they did the I guess they were sculpting, they were doing the clay and stuff. Did you notice how they was doing the dirty jokes the same way we get in Ready to Love? They were doing the dirty jokes, about I can't
Oh
get it
yeah.
up. Yeah. Oh, I
Well,
can't
he
get it
was.
up. Yeah,
He
he
was.
he
And
was, and
he
she
didn't say that. He said, how do I get it to rise?
right.
When
Mhm,
they were
right.
doing the pottery, they went to an art place to learn pottery, and while he was trying to get his core thing to come up, he said, how do I get it to rise? I thought that was a little corny.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm all for, like, if you want to be flirtatious, but that just seemed a little forced, and he
And
kept saying it.
she follows suit because everything he would say, like, oh, it ain't wet enough. I mean, she will follow suit and say something. So
Yeah.
obviously she didn't have a problem with that either. So I was just making a comparison with that and what happens with Ready to Love with the dirty jokes with Joy, Clifton, and so forth. So a lot of people are into that kind of thing and some aren't. That's where you got to pick and choose who you
Well,
can
yeah,
do
and
that with.
it's how you do it, and who like you said, who is doing it? Are you interested in the person? Because first of all, if I'm not interested in you, don't come at me that way. Second of all, it's also how you do it. I mean, it's a to me, flirting is an art, and not everybody gets that it's an art. But hey, some guys are. There's low, just like there, like with comedy. There's lowbrow comedy, and there's mid grade, and then there's a higher grade. I mean, I'm just not really into the lowbrow of anything, me
Mm,
personally. But that's just me.
mm.
Um, I
Okay.
don't know. I wanted to ask Kirby. So Kirby, what are you saying? You said actually Aubrey, you like meta better. Yeah, I do. I like athletic men. I like guys, guys with muscles are nice, but I guess sometimes when I see the real big guys with the muscles, I kind of have to wonder if they're meatheads. And I know that's my own little prejudice, but
that's such a stereotype. Oh my
I
goodness
know, I
gracious.
know, I know it is. I know it is. Except for one football player that I kissed one time under the mistletoe, but that's another story for another day. But
Uh-huh.
I like a slender built guy with muscles. So I like a guy who can run. I like a guy who looks like he can run, and we can run together. He probably will beat me, but that's okay. We'll have fun. Yeah, I like a slender built guy. I like, basketball player type guy build
But
guys.
but
I'm
again,
just not
but
into the big guy. That's not for me. That's
but
not for me.
again, but again, the activity date, to go out and do something and engage with one another. And that's what I like about these dates because it gives them an
Really?
opportunity to go out and engage with one another and do something together as opposed to just sitting there and staring at one another
Okay,
like at a
we got a news bulletin in the chat, and I'm not to cut you off, Alex, but
Mhm.
Kirby says Hollywood has always been a I don't know if I want to read this. Allegedly, Hollywood has always been a little bit of a pervert, but luckily she played along. Right, Kirby? I just thought that was
Kirby
he's not my
Kirby Raw Dog. Kirby Raw
he,
Dog with it.
he's not my speed, and what he said really showed that he was
Oh.
one of the ones that fit the stereotype of muscles and lesser brain power. So I'm a sapiosexual, so you got to have the real brain power for me. So that's just my thing.
Yeah,
Right.
Kirby must have watched the last season that Hollywood was on to bring him to that conclusion. He must have been watching Hollywood for a while, so he's
Kirby, yeah,
entitled to his
Kirby,
opinion.
you right. You followed the when Hollywood, because I saw the season before this one, right? I followed that one all the way from the beginning to the end. I just saw little glimpses of the first season that Hollywood was on with what was it, Ashley? Is this girl, his former girlfriend was Ashley. I love her. I follow her on Instagram, but I don't know. I can't really get with him. But now on everything, she says the world is hypersexualized these days, and when you're not fulfilled, almost anything can translate to sexy. I guess that's right, girl. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't mind the flirting. I didn't mind that he was flirting with her. They were on a date. I think a date is for flirting, right? But just it was just his own thing about it.
But you know
Um,
what? You know what?
what?
I
Mhm.
like my man Meta too, because
Yeah,
Meta was smooth with it.
that's what I'm saying. That's the
He was
point I was
laid
getting
back.
at.
Yeah, he was
Laid
smooth
back.
with it. He was laid back.
Laid back. Who says that? Laid back. Is
Yeah.
that Snoop Dogg? I mean, that's what I like. I mean, to me, if you got to work too hard for it, it's something not right. You know what I'm saying? Why are you working so hard for it? Let's have fun. Because the first thing on the first date, let's have fun and see if we vibe. Because if we ain't vibing, all that sexual talk, that's out the window anyway. Let's just see if we vibe. Let's
Right.
just do that. Because here's the thing: this is such an awkward and weird situation. Two people that live together, and yet they're going to be going out on dates. What do we think about that concept? Because the more I think about this concept, it's absolutely crazy. What do you think about that concept? Could you imagine you are with your lady, you guys live together, you've been living together, you known each other, been together for 3 years, and now she's dating, and now you're dating. Do you think you could handle that, Alex?
Well, here's the thing: is teaching them what they're going to be dealing with anyway, and that's temptation. There are two primary things that ruin marriages. That's
Ooh.
finance and infidelity. Of course, other
Mm.
things there are other things that ruin marriages, but those are the top two without question: finance and
Mm-hmm.
infidelity. So
Mm-hmm.
the temptation going to be out here all over the place. These are nice looking people. There's going to be
Mm-hmm.
temptation. So it's teaching them now. If you had the opportunity to cheat, would you do it? would you go the extra step? Okay, now we know the cameras are there and all this kind of stuff. So what they do on camera is memorialized. Okay, but it's teaching them now how to deal with this temptation when it comes your way. How you going to respond to it? And I'm
Right.
looking forward. I'm looking forward to seeing how Otis respond after all that
So
junk he talked.
right. So as we wrap it up, do you think that next week is going to be a lot more pressure on the guys to hang in there and not be so sexualized on their dates, because they apparently did not like it that their girlfriends came home and they felt like something had been going on, or that somebody had gotten with their girl. So do you think that the guys will be a lot better when they go out on dates? Do you think they'll have very strong boundaries for these dates they're going to be going on, Alex?
you, I'm laughing because it's easier for men to break. So if they on a date and this woman is fine, we saw some of the previews where the woman asked to kiss Otis, and he was like, go ahead if you can, if you want to, whatever he said to her. I can't remember what he said to her. I'm
Yeah, he
paraphrasing.
said if you can. He said
Yeah,
she said, "Do you think I can kiss you?" And he said, if you can, if you can, see if you
see, he
can, or
didn't say
something.
no. He
He
didn't
didn't
say
know. He
no.
definitely did. He definitely did
You
not
see,
say no.
at least
Right.
in the preview, at least in the trailer, he
Right.
didn't say
Right.
no.
So you
So
do see the guys not really having these strong, rigid boundaries that they are trying to give their girlfriends to have, is what you're saying, right?
no, no, And the other thing too, I want you to address this. I want us to get into this a little bit.
Um.
When when Charlana came back
Mhm.
from the date with Meta, okay, what do you think about Otis's behavior? And the women in the chat, the guys in the chat, what did y'all think about Otis's behavior when she came back from that date with Meta? Aubrey, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I thought that was ridiculous. For him, first of all, I wouldn't have brought the flowers home if I were her. I probably wouldn't have accepted them, because I mean I think that's her fault too. But I think that he was too harsh. He was too harsh. Absolutely.
Do you see a dominating, passive aggressive kind of spirit in him? Maybe even borderline controlling or narcissistic. Do you see that in him so far?
I think there's something going on for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Because
I do.
for him to be cooking a whole salmon, right? And that salmon could have served at least 3 or 4 people, at least. Okay. To
Yeah, that was some big salmon. That was a good $25 worth of salmon.
right. So to not want to feed her because she was on a date when the process. Okay. So let's give him a pass for the flowers. Let's say, okay, she shouldn't have brought that home, maybe blah, 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 whatever. Okay. But now you don't even want to feed her because she
Yeah,
was out there on a date. And then you
yeah,
like, well, did you hug him? Did you kiss him? She's like, well, maybe a hug. Oh, you hugging now? Oh, you hugging now? I'm like, dude, everybody hug. What? I see you later. You hug somebody. That's not nothing sexual, So I think that he, as big as he is, I think he's a very insecure man,
right,
and
right.
I
Mhm.
think he has controlling tendencies because he made her eat leftovers, right? And then she's eating leftovers. She sat at the table with him with her head down, eating. And it sounded like she was crying to me. I don't know,
She
but
was. You could see her crying. There was
right,
tears
she
coming down her face. Yeah,
crying.
she was crying.
Now listen, Aubrey, you're not
Mhm.
going to feed me some of that salmon. I'm not sitting with you. I'm going up to the, you know.
Right. I see what you're saying. I wouldn't have done it either. I wouldn't have done it either. I think that what I saw as a woman who's been through this kind of relationship before, where someone is domineering and they're emotionally and verbally abusive to some degree, I saw it as she's accepted that before. She's had that. Yeah, exactly. Jay Wadley, he treated her wrong. He treated her real wrong. But here's the thing, and since you wanted to get into, yeah, we're gonna go this far. The worst thing about it was that he didn't want to share the salmon, and he's a big guy, and he's an imposing, kind of like Alex said, is something a little bit intimidating about him. I don't know. I don't like him in this situation. But what was the worst thing? out of all of it, I could have said, okay, well, you know what, he's being petty, but he's insecure. Okay. But the last thing was that when he said to her, he said, and anyway, I think you need to go upstairs and take a shower. I think you
Uh-oh.
need to take a shower. I think you need, and he said it, a couple of times. And I said, okay, now that's where I draw the line. Because, we
Mm,
know exactly what you're implying on national TV, that you're saying that she's done something, or that he's touched her in some kind of way that made her unclean for you, and that you can't bear the sight of her because she needs to take a shower. Because yeah, now that was utterly, I felt like that was utterly abusive.
right,
And that
right.
and that and I say that, and people say, "Well, you're just so sensitive." Well, yeah, I am. I am.
Well,
So
we
call
know what he
call
meant.
call it what you want, but it was a definite implication there. He wasn't saying take a shower because they would have been playing soccer, which was all they did. They were just playing soccer. But he was saying that the fact that she said, "Well, yeah," he kind of leaned in and gave me a light hug. He was saying, "Yeah, that you're filthy." She's filthy to him.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he knows eventually she's going to take a shower. I mean, that's common sense. But
Yeah,
for
but it
him,
wasn't it wasn't meant like that.
but for
It
him to
wasn't.
say that, I know that,
Mhm.
Aubrey. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Okay, because for him to say that the way he said it, that implies as if this dude, as if men have been digging up in her in some kind of way. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So, and
right.
she came home with some extra stuff she didn't leave with, or whatever. So you better go wash that out. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a very insensitive low blow right there. Everybody knows what he
That
meant.
that part. Insensitive, low blow, um, and borderline. I say borderline abusive. I really do. And so my thing is with that being said, this is the first date, the first episode. We're just starting this journey. So can you imagine what it's going to get like as it goes on, as it progresses? Can you imagine? And Kirby says, I understand women want assertive men, but you can't overlook red flags. Absolutely, Kirby. When I was younger, if I knew then what I know now, I would have married the gentle engineer at my college. Okay, I really would have. Okay, it would have made an excellent husband, a great father. But a lot of times when we're women, sometimes as women, when we're younger, we don't recognize um, the strong, healthy men that don't have to assert themselves with that toxic masculinity. We only recognize the guys that are walking around having all the swagger, that are being domineering, that are being controlling, and that's not healthy, Kirby. That
And
is absolutely not
and
healthy. And on everything, not to cut you off, but I'm trying to get the viewers in here too, their viewpoint on everything says that stuff that you go through in your early 30s, certainly not contemplating marriage at that point. Absolutely,
your early
absolutely.
20s, she said, your early
I'm sorry,
20s.
early 20s, right? Early 20s. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and she right. Absolutely.
I
This
was
is this
looking
is
at the timer. That's
oh,
why I got
okay.
the 30 and the 20. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw it. My brain saw it, but my eyes are on the other side saw this 30 on our timer. So,
yeah.
in
And, and,
closing,
and and also too, also
okay,
too,
in
we noticed
closing.
we noticed that that
Mhm.
Otis in some of his pictures, his hairline seemed to be receding, but on the show,
You noticed that. I noticed it too. Well, not so it was receding. I guess I would say thinning. I guess the word I would use is thinning. His hairline was thinning. It was like, it was like Trumpish. The
right, Trumpish, right. So
former president. It was very Trumpish.
except his wasn't orange. So
Right, right, right. It was
so,
dark brown or black. But
so
then we noticed that when he came to the show, he had a full head. He had a full head of hair. So whatever's going on, and he apparently has the money and the wherewithal to keep his appearances up. So what do you think he did?
well, he's nice looking regardless. I mean, I guess he may have
Mhm.
I guess he may have sprayed something up there. Maybe he's using Rogaine. I'm not sure if that even works with black people. I don't know. I've never used
It
Rogaine, so
works
I
with
don't
all
know.
kinds of scalps.
Oh, it
Yeah,
does?
yeah.
Okay, so maybe he's using
I've
Rogaine.
heard. I've never needed to use it, but
Yeah,
it supposedly works. So yeah.
yeah, hair club for men or whatever and that kind of thing. But there are things that you can do to
He
fill that
did he
hairline
did
in.
something. He did something,
Yeah.
which brings me to the in closing, I had a date once years ago. I always liked the older man. It never bothered me about the older man, right? So I was on this date with this guy, and he was handsome, tall, dark, and handsome, right? And I just had on my nice little outfit, and we got to hugging, and hugging and the
Oh
hugging and the
Lord, oh
kissing.
Lordy, here we
And
go.
well, okay, but here's the thing: we got finished hugging and kissing, and I went to look at my nice clothes, and there was this dark brown stuff all over my shoulders, and and I was like, "What in the world?" It was this stuff he put on his hair to cover up the grays. I was like, "You ever heard of going to a colorist and getting some dye so that doesn't come out on my clothes?" So of course, that was our last time going out.
I know.
That
I
was
know you.
our last time. Like, this ain't gonna work, boo. You can't be
That's like
messing up my designer duds.
that's like that's like in the movie Low Down Dirty Shame, where he took the very voluptuous woman home. Anne Marie Johnson was the actress. Took her home. They're about to get down, so they start getting undressed.
And she started thinking. You talking about the Wayne guy and
She
Anne Marie
start
Johnson?
Anne Marie
She started
Johnson.
taking off stuff, and then she's taking off her arm, her leg, taking off everything was a prosthesis.
She took her butt off, her breast off, her leg off. she took her hair off, everything. What in the hell is going on here?
Okay, you get one of these for that. And on that note, guys, we wanted to keep this short and sweet, but we're gonna have more to talk about and more graphics next time when we return for Put a Ring on It. Okay, so thank you for staying with us and stay tuned. Okay, we'll see you soon. All right,
it's gonna be a fun season.
It's gonna be a great season. All right, guys, we're out.